Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest secrets of English fluency. And the secret is very simple. You must talk in English. Not only read, not only listen, not only study grammar. You must speak. Many people spend years learning English, but they still cannot speak confidently. Why? Because they learn English, but they don't use English. Speaking is not the final step of learning English. Speaking is the main step. The more you talk, the faster your English grows. So today, you will learn 10 powerful lessons about why you must talk in English every day. These lessons are simple, practical, and life-changing for beginners. Lesson 1. Talking builds. Real fluency. Now listen very carefully. This is one of the biggest truths in English learning. You cannot become fluent by staying silent. It is impossible. Many people spend years studying English. They read grammar books. They memorize vocabulary. They watch English videos. But when it is time to speak, they freeze. They become nervous. They cannot express simple thoughts. Why? Because they learned English, but they did not practice talking. Now understand this clearly. Fluency is not built inside your notebook. Fluency is built through speaking. English is not only knowledge. English is a skill, and every skill becomes strong through practice. Think about learning to swim. Can you become a good swimmer by only reading about swimming? No. You must enter the water. You must move your body. You must practice again and again. Speaking English is exactly the same. You must use your voice. You must train your mouth. You must practice speaking daily. Now let's understand what real fluency means. Fluency does not mean speaking perfect English. Fluency means speaking smoothly, naturally, and without too much fear. And this only happens when you talk regularly. At first, your speaking will feel slow. You may stop in the middle. You may forget words. You may make mistakes. This is normal. Every fluent speaker started like this. But most learners quit too early. They speak once or twice. Then they feel embarrassed. Then they go silent again. And silence is dangerous, because silence stops growth. The more silent you stay, the weaker your speaking becomes. But the more you talk, the stronger your fluency becomes. Now here is something very important. Your brain learns language through repetition. When you speak a sentence many times, your brain remembers it faster. Your mouth becomes comfortable. Your speaking becomes automatic. For example, at first, even a simple sentence like, "How are you?" may feel difficult. But after repeating it many times, it becomes natural. You don't think anymore. You just speak. This is how fluency is built, not in one big moment, but in small daily conversations. Now let's talk about confidence. Many people say, "I will speak when I become fluent." But this thinking is wrong. You become fluent by speaking, not before speaking. Speaking creates fluency. Speaking creates confidence. Speaking creates improvement. Now imagine two learners. One learner studies grammar every day, but never talks. The second learner knows less grammar, but talks daily, even with mistakes. After a few months, who will speak better? The second learner. Because speaking builds real fluency, not silent learning. Now here is a simple habit you must start today. Speak English every single day, even if you are alone. Talk about your day. Talk about your thoughts. Talk about what you see around you. For example, "I am sitting. I feel tired. I want to improve my English. Today was a busy day. Simple sentences, but powerful practice. Now here is another important truth. Don't wait for perfect English. Use simple English. Because fluency grows from use, not from perfection. At first, you may feel uncomfortable. You may feel shy. You may feel slow. But if you continue, something powerful happens. Your brain becomes faster. Your mouth becomes smoother. Your fear becomes smaller. And one day, you realize something beautiful. You are speaking without forcing yourself. You are expressing ideas naturally. You are enjoying conversation. That is real fluency. So remember this powerful line. You cannot build speaking by staying silent. You build speaking by speaking. Talk every day, even a little, even imperfectly. Because every sentence you speak is one step closer to fluency and one step closer to a new version of yourself. Lesson 2. Talking removes fear. One of the biggest reasons people cannot speak English fluently is not grammar. It is not vocabulary. It is fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding wrong. Fear of being judged. Fear of not understanding others. This fear becomes a wall. And because of this wall, many learners stay silent for years. They understand English. They know words. They even know grammar. But when it is time to speak, their confidence disappears. Their mind becomes blank. And they say nothing. This happens to many people. So if you feel this way, you are not alone. But here is the truth. Fear becomes smaller only when you face it, not when you avoid it. Imagine someone who is afraid of water. If they never enter the water, their fear stays strong. But if they slowly practice swimming, their fear starts disappearing. English speaking works the same way. The more you speak, the smaller your fear becomes. At first, your voice may shake. You may speak slowly. You may feel nervous. That is completely normal, because your brain is entering a new situation. But every time you speak, your brain learns something important. It learns, I survived. I can do this. It is not dangerous. And slowly, your confidence starts growing. Many learners wait for fear to disappear before speaking. But this is the wrong approach. Fear does not disappear first. Speaking comes first. Then confidence follows. So don't wait to feel ready. Most fluent speakers did not feel ready in the beginning either. They just started. Think about a baby learning to walk. The baby falls many times, but the baby keeps trying. And slowly, walking becomes natural. Speaking English is the same. At first, you may struggle. You may stop in the middle. You may forget words. But if you continue speaking, your brain becomes stronger. Your fear becomes weaker. Silence makes fear stronger. Action makes fear weaker. That is why talking is so powerful. Talking is not only practice for English. Talking is training for confidence. Every small conversation matters. Even small sentences help. For example, how are you? I am fine. What are you doing? I am studying. These are simple lines, but every time you say them, your fear decreases a little more. Now imagine two learners. One learner stays silent because they are afraid. The other learner speaks daily, even with mistakes. After a few months, who will feel more confident? The answer is clear. Confidence comes from action, not from waiting. Another important thing is this. Most people are not judging you as much as you think. Many learners imagine, everyone will laugh at me. But in reality, most people respect effort. Most people understand that learning a language is difficult. And even if someone laughs, that does not stop your growth. Your future is more important than someone's opinion. So never let fear control your voice. Your voice matters. Your ideas matter. Your progress matters. Start small. Speak one sentence, then another, then another. Little by little, your fear will break. And when fear breaks, your real speaking begins. One day, you will look back and realize something powerful. The thing that once scared you has now become normal. That is the power of speaking daily. That is how talking removes fear. And that is how fluency begins. Lesson 3. Talking trains your mouth. Many people believe that speaking English is only about the brain. They think, if I learn grammar, I will speak. If I memorize vocabulary, I will speak. But speaking is not only mental. Speaking is also physical. Your mouth must learn English too. Think about this. You may understand many English words. You may know what sentences mean. But when you try to speak, your mouth feels slow. Your tongue feels uncomfortable. Your pronunciation feels unclear. Why does this happen? Because your mouth is not trained yet. Your brain may know the language, but your mouth still needs practice. This is exactly like learning a sport. You can understand football rules. You can watch football videos. You can read football books. But if you never kick the ball, you will never become a real player. English speaking is the same. You must use your mouth. You must move your tongue. You must train your voice daily. At first, your mouth may feel stiff. Some words may feel difficult. Some sounds may feel strange. This is normal, because your mouth is learning new movements. Every language uses the mouth differently. Different sounds, different rhythm, different pronunciation. So if you only study silently, your speaking muscles stay weak. That is why talking every day is so important. The more you speak, the more natural English feels in your mouth. Think about simple sentences like, "How are you?" "I am learning English." "I want to improve." At first, you may speak slowly, but after repeating them many times, your mouth becomes faster, your pronunciation becomes smoother, your confidence becomes stronger. This is how speaking develops. Through repetition, through movement, through practice. Another important thing is rhythm. English has a flow. Native speakers connect words together naturally. You cannot learn this flow only by reading silently. You learn it by hearing and repeating. That is why talking out loud is powerful. When you hear your own voice, your brain and mouth start working together. Many learners practice English only in their mind. They think silently. They read silently. They listen silently. But when they finally speak, their mouth feels weak because they never trained it. So don't keep English trapped inside your head. Bring it out. Use your voice. Even if you're alone, speak. Talk about your room. Talk about your day. Talk about your plans. For example, I am sitting in my room. I feel tired today. I want to become fluent. Simple sentences, but powerful training. Reading out loud is also very helpful. Take a short paragraph. Read slowly and clearly. Focus on pronunciation. Focus on flow. This trains your mouth to become comfortable with English sounds. Another powerful method is repetition. Listen to a short sentence from a video or audio, then repeat it exactly. Copy the pronunciation. Copy the speed. Copy the rhythm. This is like exercise for your speaking muscles. At first, it may feel difficult, but after daily practice, your mouth becomes stronger, and something amazing happens. Words start coming out more naturally. You stop forcing every sound. You stop feeling blocked. your speaking becomes smoother, not because you became perfect, but because your mouth became trained. Now imagine two learners. One learner studies grammar every day, but never speaks. The other learner speaks daily, even with simple English. After some time, who will sound more natural? The answer is clear, because speaking improves through speaking, not through silence. So never forget this truth. Your brain learns English, but your mouth must learn English too. Train your mouth every day. Use your voice daily. Speak even when it feels uncomfortable, because every sentence you say makes your mouth stronger, and every day of practice brings you closer to fluency. Lesson 4. Talking helps you think faster. One of the biggest differences between beginners and fluent speakers is speed. Fluent speakers think quickly. Beginners think slowly. Many learners know English words. They understand grammar. But when someone talks to them, their brain becomes slow. They need too much time to answer. Why? Because their brain is still translating everything. First, they hear English. Then they change it into their own language. Then they think of an answer. Then they translate the answer back into English. Then they speak. This process takes too much time. And because of this, conversation becomes difficult. But when you talk in English every day, something powerful happens. Your brain becomes faster. The more you speak, the less your brain depends on translation. Slowly, your brain starts connecting ideas directly to English words. This is the beginning of real fluency. Think about how you speak in your own language. Do you translate before every sentence? No. You just think and speak naturally. That is exactly what daily talking practice builds in English. At first, your brain may feel tired. You may stop often. You may search for words. This is normal, because your brain is building a new system. Every time you speak, your brain practices speed. Every sentence becomes mental training. For example, someone asks, "What did you do today?" At first, you may need a long pause, but after many conversations, your answer comes faster. "I worked today. I studied English. I stayed at home." Your brain learns through repetition. The more you answer simple questions, the faster your thinking becomes. This is why daily talking is so important. Talking trains your brain to react quickly, and reaction speed is very important in real conversation. Because real conversations move fast. People don't stop and wait while you prepare perfect grammar. You must learn to respond naturally, even with simple English. Another important thing is this. Fast thinking reduces fear. When your brain responds quickly, you feel more confident. You stop overthinking. You stop doubting every word. But when your brain is slow, fear grows. You feel pressure. You become nervous. So talking daily helps in two ways. It improves your speed, and it reduces your fear. Now let's talk about practice. A very powerful habit is asking yourself questions. For example, what am I doing? How do I feel? What do I want? Then answer immediately. I am studying. I feel tired. I want rest. Simple answers, but powerful brain training. At first, your answers may feel slow. That is okay. Keep going. Slowly, your brain becomes faster, your reactions become natural, and your English starts flowing more smoothly. Another good practice is quick speaking. Choose a simple topic and speak continuously for 1 minute. Don't stop too much. Don't worry about mistakes. Just keep talking. This forces your brain to think quickly in English. And over time, quick thinking becomes normal. Now imagine two learners. One learner studies silently every day. The other learner talks daily and practices fast responses. After a few months, who will think faster in English? The answer is clear, because thinking speed grows through use, not through silence. So remember this powerful truth. Talking is not only speaking practice. Talking is brain training. Every conversation teaches your brain to move faster. Every sentence teaches your brain to react naturally. And one day, without even realizing, you stop translating. You stop preparing every sentence. You simply think and speak. That is the moment when English starts becoming natural. And that is why you must talk in English every single day. Lesson 5. Talking improves pronunciation. Many learners want clear pronunciation. They want to sound natural. They want people to understand them easily. But at the same time, they are afraid to speak. This is the problem. Pronunciation does not improve through silence. Pronunciation improves through talking. You cannot train your pronunciation only by reading grammar books. You must hear words, and then say them again and again. Think about music. A singer becomes better by singing, not by only reading song lyrics. English speaking works the same way. Your pronunciation improves when your mouth practices sounds daily. At first, some English sounds may feel difficult. Some words may feel strange. You may pronounce words incorrectly. This is completely normal. Every learner goes through this stage. The problem is not making mistakes. The problem is staying silent because of mistakes. Many learners feel embarrassed. They think, my pronunciation is bad. People will laugh. I don't sound like a native speaker. So they stop talking. And because they stop talking, their pronunciation never improves. You must understand something important. Good pronunciation comes from repetition, not perfection. The more you say a word, the more natural it becomes. For example, at first, a simple word like comfortable may feel difficult. You may say it slowly. You may make mistakes. But if you repeat it many times, comfortable, comfortable, comfortable. Slowly, your mouth learns the sound. Your tongue learns the movement. And the word becomes easier. This is exactly how pronunciation improves. Through daily speaking. Another important thing is listening and repeating. When you hear fluent English, your brain notices rhythm, stress, and sound patterns. Then when you repeat those sounds, your pronunciation becomes more natural. This is why shadowing is powerful. Listen to a short sentence. Then repeat it exactly. Copy the speed, copy the tone, copy the pronunciation. For example, I want to improve my English. Repeat it again and again. Not only the words, but also the sound and flow. This trains your mouth and ears together. Now let's talk about confidence. Many learners think, I will speak after my pronunciation becomes perfect. But this thinking is wrong. Your pronunciation improves because you speak, not before you speak. At first, your pronunciation may not sound perfect. That is okay. Your goal is communication, not perfection. Clear communication is more important than sounding perfect. If people understand you, your English is working. And over time, the more you speak, the clearer your pronunciation becomes naturally. Now here is a powerful habit. Read out loud every day, even for 10 minutes. Take a short article. Take a simple story. Read slowly and clearly. This helps your mouth become comfortable with English sounds. Another powerful habit is recording yourself. At first, hearing your own voice may feel strange, But this practice is very helpful. You can notice which words are unclear, which sounds are difficult, where you need improvement. And slowly, your pronunciation improves step by step. Now imagine two learners. One learner studies English silently every day. The other learner speaks daily, reads out loud, and repeats sentences. After a few months, who will sound more natural? The answer is clear, because pronunciation grows through use, not through silence. So don't be afraid of speaking badly in the beginning. Every fluent speaker once sounded imperfect too. The important thing is to continue. Speak daily, repeat daily, practice daily, because every word you say trains your mouth. Every sentence you repeat improves your pronunciation. And one day, you will notice something powerful. People understand you more easily. Your voice sounds clearer. Your speaking feels smoother. That is the power of talking in English every day. And that is why speaking is one of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation. Lesson 6. Talking makes you remember better. Many learners have the same problem. They study vocabulary, they memorize words, they learn grammar rules, but after some time, they forget everything. This feels frustrating. You spend time learning, but when you try to speak, the words disappear from your mind. Why does this happen? Because your brain remembers better when you use information, not when you only read it. Reading helps you recognize words. Listening helps you understand words. But speaking helps you own those words. This is a very important difference. Think about a simple example. Imagine you learn the word confident. You read it in a book. You understand the meaning. But if you never use it, your brain may forget it quickly. Now imagine something different. You say, I want to become confident. I feel more confident today. She speaks confidently. Now the word becomes active. Your brain starts connecting the word to real situations. And because of this, you remember it much longer. This is how memory works. Your brain remembers what you use repeatedly. That is why talking is so powerful. Every time you speak, you strengthen your memory. Now let's go deeper. When you talk in English, your brain does many things at the same time. It remembers vocabulary. It builds sentences. It chooses grammar. It controls pronunciation. This active process creates strong memory connections. But silent learning is different. You only recognize information. You don't fully use it. That is why many learners say, I understand English, but I cannot speak. Their knowledge is passive, not active. Talking changes passive knowledge into active knowledge. For example, you learn the phrase, I am looking forward to it. At first it feels new, but then you start using it. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I am looking forward to meeting my friend. Now the phrase becomes part of your speaking, and because you use it, you remember it naturally. This is why speaking daily is so important. Another important thing is emotional memory. Your brain remembers things better when emotions are connected. When you speak, you express feelings, ideas, and experiences. Because of this, the words become more meaningful. For example, if you say, I was really nervous today, you remember the sentence better because it connects to your real emotion. This creates stronger memory than silent study. Now let's talk about repetition. Repetition is one of the strongest tools for memory. When you repeat words in real speaking, your brain says, this is important. And slowly, the word moves into long-term memory. That is why simple daily conversations are powerful. Even repeating basic sentences helps your brain remember English faster. Now imagine two learners. One learner reads vocabulary lists every day, but never speaks. The other learner learns fewer words, but uses them daily in speaking. After a few months, who will remember more English naturally? The answer is clear. Because use creates memory. Now here is a powerful habit. Whenever you learn a new word, use it immediately in speaking. For example, if you learn the word improve, say, I want to improve my English. I improve slowly every day. This simple habit makes a huge difference. Another powerful habit is self-speaking. Talk about your day, describe your feelings, share your ideas out loud. The more you use English actively, the stronger your memory becomes. And slowly, you stop forgetting so easily. Words come to your mind faster. Sentences feel natural. Speaking becomes smoother. Now remember this important truth. Your brain remembers what your mouth uses. So don't only study English, speak English, use English, live English. Because every sentence you say makes your memory stronger. And every conversation brings you one step closer to fluency. Lesson 7. Talking builds confidence in real life. Many people think confidence comes first. They think, when I become confident, then I will speak English. But this is not true. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes because of action. The more you talk in English, the more confident you become. At the beginning, almost every learner feels nervous. Your heart beats faster. Your mind becomes blank. You worry about mistakes. You worry about what people will think. This feeling is normal. It happens because your brain is not used to speaking English yet. But every time you speak, even a little, your brain learns something important. It learns, I can do this. I survived this conversation. It is not as scary as I thought. And slowly, fear becomes smaller. Confidence becomes stronger. Now understand something very important. Real confidence is not loud talking. Real confidence is feeling comfortable expressing yourself. You don't need perfect grammar to be confident. You don't need a perfect accent. You just need courage to speak. Many learners wait too long. They study for months or years, but avoid real speaking because they want to sound perfect first. This creates a dangerous cycle. No speaking, no confidence. No confidence, no speaking. And because of this, many people stay stuck for years. The only way to break this cycle is simple. Start talking, even with mistakes, even with fear. Because confidence grows through experience, not through thinking. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you feel scared. You may fall. You may feel unstable. But after practicing many times, you stop feeling afraid. You trust yourself. English speaking works the same way. Every conversation is practice. Every sentence is training. Every small success builds belief inside you. For example, the first time you speak English with someone, you may feel nervous. But after the conversation ends, you feel proud. You realize, I actually spoke. I understood something. I answered questions. This feeling is powerful. It changes how you see yourself. Slowly, you stop seeing yourself as someone learning English. You start seeing yourself as someone who speaks English. That identity change builds real confidence. Now let's talk about real-life situations. When you practice speaking regularly, daily situations become easier. You can introduce yourself. You can ask questions. You can express opinions. You can talk to people without panic. This confidence helps in many parts of life: school, work, travel, friendships, interviews. Because communication is a life skill, and English gives you more opportunities to communicate with the world. Now here is another important truth. Confidence grows faster when you stop judging yourself too much. Many learners think, my pronunciation is bad, my grammar is weak, my speaking is slow. And because of this, they lose confidence before even speaking. But fluent speakers are not confident because they are perfect. They are confident because they are comfortable making mistakes and continuing anyway. That is the difference. Now imagine two learners. One learner waits silently, trying to become perfect. The other learner speaks daily, even imperfectly. After some time, who will feel more confident in real conversations? The answer is clear. Because speaking creates confidence, not silence. Now here is a simple practice. Every day, talk about yourself for a few minutes. Talk about your day, your feelings, your goals, your plans. For example, today I feel tired, but I still want to practice English. I think I'm improving slowly. Simple speaking, but powerful confidence training. The more you use your voice, the stronger your confidence becomes. And one day, you will notice something beautiful. You stop fearing conversations. You stop overthinking every sentence. You start enjoying speaking. That is real progress. That is real confidence. So remember this powerful line. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build by speaking every day. Talk more. Fear less. Keep going. Because every conversation makes you stronger, and every sentence brings you closer to the confident version of yourself. Lesson 8. Talking helps you make mistakes and improve. Many learners are afraid of mistakes. This is one of the biggest problems in English learning. People think, if I make mistakes, people will think my English is bad. If I speak incorrectly, I will feel embarrassed. If my grammar is wrong, I should stay silent. Because of this fear, many learners stop speaking. They stay quiet. They avoid conversations, and slowly, their English stops growing. But here is the truth. Mistakes are not the enemy of fluency. Mistakes are the path to fluency. Every fluent speaker made thousands of mistakes. Wrong grammar, wrong pronunciation, wrong vocabulary, wrong sentences. But they improved because they continued speaking, not because they stayed silent. Think about a baby learning to walk. The baby falls again and again, but the baby does not stop. The baby keeps trying. And because of this, walking becomes natural. Speaking English is exactly the same. You cannot improve without mistakes. Mistakes are part of practice. Now understand something very important. When you make a mistake while speaking, your brain learns. Your brain notices the problem. Your brain adjusts. Your brain improves for the next time. But if you never speak, your brain never gets this training. Silence feels safe, but silence slows growth. Speaking feels uncomfortable, but speaking creates growth. This is why talking is powerful. Talking gives you real experience. For example, maybe you say, "He go to school yesterday." This sentence is not perfect, But after hearing correct English again and again, and after using English more, slowly your brain changes the sentence naturally. He went to school yesterday. This improvement happens because you practiced, not because you stayed silent. Now let's talk about perfection. Many learners want perfect English before speaking. This is impossible. No one starts perfectly. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. Mistakes are normal in communication. Your goal is not perfect English. Your goal is communication and progress. Another important thing is this: mistakes help you remember better. When you make a mistake and learn from it, your brain remembers the lesson more strongly. That is why real conversations are powerful teachers. Now imagine two learners. One learner never speaks because they fear mistakes. The other learner speaks daily and makes mistakes freely. After a few months, who will improve more? The answer is obvious. Because speaking gives feedback. Silence gives nothing. Now here is a very powerful mindset. Instead of saying, "I made a mistake," say, "I learned something." This small change can completely change your confidence. Another helpful habit is correcting yourself calmly. If you notice a mistake, don't panic. Just continue. For example, sorry, I went to the market. Then continue speaking. This keeps your confidence strong. Never stop your whole conversation because of one mistake. Communication is more important than perfection. Now let's go deeper. Many people are so afraid of mistakes that they speak very little. But short practice creates slow growth. The learner who speaks more, even imperfectly, gets more experience, more corrections, more improvement. And slowly, their speaking becomes smoother and more natural. This is why mistakes are actually useful. They show you where to improve. They help your brain grow stronger. They make you a better speaker. So don't hate mistakes. Use them, learn from them, move forward. Every mistake is one step closer to fluency. Every conversation is training. Every attempt makes you stronger. One day, you will look back and realize something powerful. The mistakes that once embarrassed you actually helped build your fluency. So remember this important truth. People who never speak make fewer mistakes, but they also make less progress. People who speak often make more mistakes, but they improve faster. Choose growth over fear. Choose action over silence. Keep talking, keep learning, keep improving. Because fluency is not built by avoiding mistakes. Fluency is built by speaking through them. Lesson 9. Talking makes English feel natural. At the beginning of your journey, English feels strange. You think too much. You translate every sentence. You speak slowly. Sometimes even simple words feel difficult. This happens because English still feels new to your brain. It feels like a school subject, something separate from your real life. Many learners only study English in books. They read grammar, they memorize vocabulary, they do exercises. But after studying, they close the book and return completely to their native language. Because of this, English never becomes part of their daily life. It stays something outside of them. That is why talking is so important. Talking makes English feel alive. Talking makes English feel real. The more you speak, the more natural English becomes. Think about your native language. You don't stop and think about grammar rules before speaking. You don't translate. You simply express yourself naturally. Why? Because you use that language every day for many years. It became automatic. It became part of your life. English can become natural too, but only if you use it regularly. Every time you talk in English, your brain becomes more familiar with the language. At first, you may feel uncomfortable. Your speaking may feel forced. But after daily conversations, something changes. Your brain stops treating English like a difficult task. It starts treating English like communication. This is a huge difference. For example, at first saying, "How was your day?" may feel difficult. But after hearing and speaking it many times, the sentence becomes automatic. You don't think deeply anymore. You just say it naturally. This is how language becomes natural, through repetition and use. Talking also helps your brain connect English to real life. When you speak about your day, your feelings, your goals, English becomes connected to your personal experiences. For example, I feel tired today. I want to rest. I am excited. These are not just practice sentences anymore. They become part of your real thoughts. And this changes everything. Because now, English is no longer only study material. English becomes part of your daily thinking and communication. Now let's talk about comfort. At first, English may feel uncomfortable, but the more you talk, the more relaxed you become. You stop fearing every sentence. You stop checking every grammar rule. You stop translating every word. And slowly, your speaking begins to flow naturally. This is why people who speak daily improve faster than people who only study silently. Talking creates familiarity, and familiarity creates comfort. Another important thing is emotional connection. When you talk in English during real situations, your brain creates stronger emotional memories. You remember words more naturally. You remember expressions more easily, because the language becomes connected to your life. Now imagine two learners. One learner only studies English in books. The other learner talks in English every day, even with simple sentences. After some time, who will feel more natural while speaking? The answer is clear. Because natural speaking grows through use, not through silence. Now here is a powerful daily habit. Use English during small moments. Talk about what you are doing. Describe your surroundings. Express your feelings. For example, I am drinking water. The weather is nice. I feel happy today. These simple habits slowly train your brain to live with English. And one day, something beautiful happens. English stops feeling foreign. English stops feeling difficult. You begin to think, react, and speak more naturally. That is the moment when fluency starts becoming real. So remember this powerful truth. English does not become natural through silent study alone. English becomes natural when you use it in real life. Talk every day. Use simple sentences. Stay consistent. Because the more you speak, the more English becomes part of you. And when English becomes part of you, fluency stops feeling impossible. Lesson 10. Talking changes your identity. At first, you feel like someone who is learning English. You feel nervous. You feel unsure. You think too much before speaking. But when you start talking in English every day, something slowly changes. You stop feeling like a beginner. You start feeling like a person who actually speaks English. This change is very powerful because your identity controls your actions. If you believe, I cannot speak English, you stay silent. But when you start believing, I am someone who speaks English. You become more confident. You speak more naturally. Talking daily changes how you see yourself, and once your identity changes, your fluency grows much faster. So remember this simple truth. The more you talk in English, the more English becomes part of who you are. Before you leave this video, remember one thing. English fluency is not built by staying silent. It is built by talking. Even small sentences matter. Even imperfect English matters. Because every time you speak, your fear becomes smaller, your confidence becomes stronger, and your fluency becomes better. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start today. Speak a little every day. Talk to yourself. Talk to others. Use your voice. Because your voice is the key to your fluency. And if this video helped you understand English in a new way, don't keep it only for yourself. Share this video with someone who wants to improve their English too. And if you want more powerful lessons that actually help you speak confidently, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay connected with this journey. We are not here to study English forever. We are here to speak it confidently. I will see you in the next video.